Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hart in New York show. I'm not going to start off this show all glittery or happy or joyful because at this time of year, it is extremely hard on certain people out there. Extremely hard. In fact, if you're being depressed or having a tough time, if you're suffering, as I would say, from alcoholism or booze, listen carefully to this show because it could possibly help save your life as it did save mine. Now, why is it around the holidays that it's so hard to get through and not be depressed? I'm talking about recovery now. I'm talking about people out there that have just lost everything, or they feel like blowing their brains out, or the family has just left, or they lost their jobs and they lost their homes and they got no place to go. But how about, and also for the people out there that try hard to not pick up a drink, okay? They don't want to pick up a drink and that's been, as they say, sober for years, and then all of a sudden go through either something happens to them physically or they lose their home and all these things, or go through a terrible divorce, or whatever the case may happen. It happens. It happens. But I'm here to tell you right now that there's hope. I got two gentlemen on here, Fred and Anthony, that have been an inspiration to me, okay? I'd like to welcome you, Fred, Anthony. Thanks for coming on the show. I tell you why, because these are men that are for recovery, okay, that have gone through, okay, the battle with booze. Now, what do you do about it? What do you do about it? Okay, well, I like to talk about it. I like to reach out for help. I like to reach out to certain individuals like these two guys that have been down the road and talk about it. Okay, that's the first thing you got to do is you got to admit, wait a minute, something's wrong. I got to do something about it. And how am I going to feel better, and how am I going to get help? Well, you got to just talk about it. Fred, I want to start with you. I mean, I didn't know how it started, but when is saying that you were sick and tired of getting sick and tired, and then you figured, hey, you got to stop drinking?
I woke up May 5th, 1978, and looked around. It was in the morning. And I was in my own bed. I wasn't sleeping in my truck or nothing. But I had a thought come to me that this day was going to be just like the previous day and the one before that and the one before that. I was going to wind up getting drunk 2 or 3 times a day, not working, about to lose my family, house, business, and everything else. And I was just tired of it. I didn't want to do it anymore. As far as I knew, there was only one game around for not, and I went to it, or I went back to it, I should say. The first time I tried it, I didn't put enough effort into it. Not everybody makes it, and there's only one reason that I didn't make it. I didn't try hard enough, My cat didn't die, Grandpa didn't die, none of this, I just didn't try hard enough. So I made a commitment to myself that this time I would give it my best shot, and it's been quite a while. My life is beyond my wildest dreams. Not only my life, but my children's life. Had 4 beautiful children. They're grown now, of course, got their own children. And their life has been much better. They're all doing fine. They're been to college. Before that, nobody in my family had ever been to college. Typically, we quit high school at 16 and go to work in the trades, which I did. And it's just been a great life, but it wouldn't have been for them either, because before I stopped drinking, the house was a battle zone. It was like it was dysfunctional. That's the word they use nowadays, And my daughters didn't have to marry the first guy come along to get out of a dysfunctional house. You know, they went to school. My sons didn't have to join the service to get out of a dysfunctional house. They stayed till they was ready to go. And, it's all thanks to where I went. I had very little to do with it other than put forth some effort. That's about all I can say.
So there is hope.
You bet there's hope. Like when I was drinking, I used to think I would drink to forget stuff, you know. And the more I drink, the more I remember stuff I was trying to forget. And yeah, there's always hope. Around the holidays for a lot of people, you know, you may be separated from your family or something, which I almost was. I can see where you get to feel a little sorry for yourself, you know, living in a room or something and Christmas Eve or something like that. But there's no need to be like that. It's a temporary condition if we'll just put forth the effort. Is my take on it.
That's what you got to do. You got to put forth the effort. You got to want to. It's not basically, hey, listen, I need to do this. You got to want to. Okay? Can we tell people out there how long you been without taking a drink?
My last drink was on May 5th, 1978.
Imagine that. Tell me that's not a beautiful thing to hear. Tell me that, Fred and Anthony, I can't wait to get to your story too. Fred, has it been roses? I mean, have you been tiptoeing through the tulips this whole 40-some-odd years or whatever?
No, there was about a liver cancer. There was a divorce. You know, I've been put upon a couple times, and there's no reason to pick up a drink, though, for me, you know. If I pick up a drink, I firmly believe I'll be back with nothing real quick, you know. And from what I've seen, that's usually what happens. A lot of times we'll stop drinking, get the wrinkles out of our belly, and start getting things back, you know, and then slack off, not try as hard. And
What do you mean, for people out there who don't know, what do you mean by not try as hard?
well, there's certain things that I can do, or that even we can do, that'll pretty much guarantee not picking up a drink on any given day, you know. And it was like Peter was saying, to talk about it, you know, to have somebody to talk about it. So, look, Joe, I feel like getting, I can't say that, feel like getting wasted, you know, and just by that, I did it a few times over the years. I would call same guy and tell him, you know, that I'd had it with the program we was in. I had it with him. I had it with everything. And I think I'm about getting drunk. But just by making that call, I think was the reason that I didn't pick up a drink just for that. And a lot of people think that the tragedy is people who've had time and recovery and pick up a drink, that's the tragedy. That's not the tragedy to me. To me, the tragedy is that those of us who picked up a drink 10 minutes before the feeling would pass, you know, and it always passes. Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's important. Anthony,
Yes, sir.
good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Can you tell everybody a little bit about what made you come to the realization that, hey, you know, I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to drink anymore. How did that happen to you? I mean, tell everybody what some of the things that brought you to that point of that's it.
Well, I wanted to stop for a long time, you know, and I came to the party late. I came here in 2015, you know, and I don't know. To me, it's like, you know, kill me or take me, you know. And even with a heart attack and a heart problem, I still couldn't stop drinking, Unlike Fred, I've been blessed. I've had a family that, stayed with me. Well, my wife did, my kids. But I don't know. I think it might have been like the hand of God, that made me see a commercial on TV because I've been drinking so long that I couldn't stop by myself.
How much were you drinking?
A little under a fifth a day.
A day.
And like I said, even with a heart attack, I still couldn't stop, And this commercial came on TV about, about hope, And I called the number. It was a rehab place down in Florida. That's the only way I could have got sober, And after 4.5 years, the kids that I chased out of the house, they're back now, They're talking to me, Holidays, I sit by the table and say, grace. It's altogether a different life, The despair, the loneliness. 33 years I sat on my couch and drank, And, we say it's beyond our wildest dreams. I'm here now talking to you people, instead of sitting on the couch yelling at it, about the news or whatever, I feel happy now, I go to church, I didn't go to church before. I thank God every day that I'm sober, and if I can do it, I think anybody can do it. You're never too young and you're never too old to stop.
Have you tried before to stop and you couldn't?
Well, every morning when you really put a bag on, and you want to stop.
Hangovers?
Yeah. See, when I was young, the word was that if you're hungover, you have a Bloody Mary in the morning, But I didn't like tomato juice, And somebody said something about orange juice. You could have a screwdriver and the hangover would go away, And then I became an all-day drinker, starting to drink in the morning, So, yeah, I wanted to quit, My DNA had alcohol in it, So unlike Fred, I needed help. I found help. I got help. And then I found Fred, and, he told me about giving it your best shot, If you're going to pick up a drink, call me first, And I learned. I learned from him, from his experience, My wife used to call me a user. I used to use people, If I had to do something for you, you had to give me your lungs, And, but, yeah, I'm not a loser anymore, a user anymore, I help people now, I don't look at people as what could I get from these people, what could they do for me, Now it's what could I do for you, that's what sobriety and going to church,
Do you find that helps you a lot, Anthony, when you help someone?
Yeah, I feel good.
You feel good?
Yeah.
And you also probably don't feel like picking up a drink, right?
No, absolutely not. When I do, I go to a place, and every time they say, anybody feel like drinking today, and I don't raise my hand because I don't feel like it. I think about it, and like Fred says, after a while it goes away, But the other day I was watching the news, and they had a commercial on about this device that you can put in the top of a wine bottle.
Right, I saw that too.
Yeah, and if you don't drink the bottle, you take out the needle, and the commercial says you could save the bottle for months and even years. And I couldn't help but laugh, because I never had that problem. When I open up a bottle of wine, I finish it. So the device that used to make me miserable, I thought about suicide, but I'm Catholic. I don't want to go to hell. So that's a deterrent. But the device that used to make me so miserable, I could laugh at it now, because I don't fear it anymore. People say I kicked the habit, and I gotta keep the faith for my family, because all the damage that I did, I don't want to lose their trust and their faith anymore that they put in me, So that's another thing that keeps me sober is, the aspect of my family. That's about it.
So your family, other than your children that are now back, you went through some probably holidays right now where the family wasn't, when you were drinking, it wasn't like everyone singing around the Christmas tree.
No,
Right.
absolutely not. Like I used to, the fishes, and for Christmas Eve we had the fishes, and the lobsters we make in a fried Diablo sauce.
Oh my goodness.
And we used to get like 24 lobsters, all right? And when I used to prepare the lobsters, I used to take a shot. Every time I cut the lobster, I would take a shot. And by the last lobster, I was blasted. I didn't really get to eat that much on Christmas Eve. That was one of the the misfortunes. And it never bothered me.
Did you smoke? Did you smoke?
I smoked until 2003. And
Okay.
when I went to the doctor, I had a spot on my lung, emphysema, and I asked him, what's my options, And he said, well, you can continue to smoke and walk around with a oxygen tank. And I stopped smoking in June of 2003, But I couldn't stop drinking, When I stopped smoking, I used to take a hard candy and suck on it instead of the cigarette. But with alcohol, there's no hard candy to substitute for drinking, People talk about the devil's triangle, It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, and New Year's. That's the toughest month that alcoholics have, to stop drinking. For me, when I got out of rehab, the 27th of August, my anniversary was on the 29th. My birthday was on September 2nd, and Labor Day was my devil's triangle, And I was determined. I mean, you just can't say, I'm going to stop drinking. You got to commit. You got to not want to drink anymore. You don't want to go through the pain of hurting people. All right? You're not hurting people, but you are. That's what I learned. And
Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. It's a wonderful thing to get this. And Fred, to the people out there at this time of the year that are totally hopeless, that have nowhere to turn, but now all of a sudden they turned on this show and they're looking at it right now, and they basically want to give up on life. And maybe there might be someone out there right now that you want to just kill yourself. What can you tell someone out there, Fred?
Don't do it. It's not necessary. There's another way. There's a better way. And when Anthony was talking, I was thinking that anybody who's ever been exposed to people who drink or drink a lot have heard somebody say that when a day comes that I can't handle it, I'll quit. Well, a day came for me that I couldn't handle it. And a day comes for a lot of people when they can't handle it. And as a rule, they don't quit. Where Anthony and I went, if you're religious and you believe in God, it's certainly not going to hurt you, you know. But where we went, they don't demand that you believe in anything. Just come there and be honest. Don't judge right off the bat, because there's all kinds of meetings. And you might hit a crummy one, you might hit a good one, you might hit an honest one. But give it your best shot, and your life will change. And so will your families, I'll bet, because mine sure did. And, I can get choked up thinking about it. Just don't kill yourself. Don't keep drinking, because it ain't working, you know. Like I said before, I drink trying to forget things. And the more I drink, the more I think about them, you know. It was just insane. I knew I was about to lose everything I cared anything about, and I still kept drinking. And if it wasn't for that moment of clarity, I might have killed myself. I had cirrhosis of the liver. I've had a liver transplant. They gave me a liver transplant at 73 years old. And that wouldn't have happened if I'd have been drinking, because 70 years old is the absolute cutoff. You know, I feel great. I've been like born again, you know. Borrowed time for sure. And, you know, none of these great things would have happened, you know, had I been drinking. You know, they wouldn't have they could have fed the liver to the dog, you know what I mean? They wouldn't have wasted it on me. And luck had a part to do in my recovery too. But mainly, it was trusting just a few people, not the first people I met either, you know. I kept coming and I looked around. What happened with me was a bunch of old guys. It was tough old guys. It was World War II veterans, Korean veterans, you know, tough guys. And it was tough on me. They didn't baby talk me. And that's the way I needed to hear it. And when it's all said and done, it's the way I wanted to hear it. I didn't want anybody baby talking me or holding my hand or hugging me and none of that, you know. Thank God for them old guys. They're all gone now. But a lot of us will never forget them.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Anthony, what can you say out to this people out there saying that had enough? What should they do? What should they do? Is there hope out there?
Absolutely. The place I went to was called the Hope Center, all right? And they were very devoted people to getting you sober, you know? And in our program, they say you get better, you know? When I got sober, my heart was at 18%, it was functioning. And I have a pacemaker defibrillator in my chest, okay? I was told last week that I don't need the defibrillator anymore because my heart got stronger since I've been sober, you know? So there is hope out there, you know, to get better. Your life gets better, you know, you get better, you know, physically and mentally. With me, it's also spiritually, that keeps me on the straight and narrow. Yeah, there's hope. Like Fred says, don't throw the towel in. Don't give up. You know what I mean? Because me and Fred are doing it, and you could do it. So
You've heard it. You've heard it right now that no matter what you're going through with the booze, there's hope. And I'm here to tell you there is hope. I haven't had a drink in 31 years. June 12th, 1988. That was my last final hangover of all hangovers, where I didn't have enough Visine to clear my eyes, or I didn't have enough Alka-Seltzer, whatever plus or whatever that was, on that day that I'll never forget. But right now, there is hope. Don't give up. This is a tough time of year. I don't care if you have money, you don't have money, or you're homeless, or you have a home. Okay, don't give up. Pick up that phone, call someone. There's many phone numbers in the phone book you could go to. Do it. I guarantee you, if you want to, it will work for you. And you will have a better way of life. Don't do it for anybody else, but do it for yourself. And you will be richly, richly rewarded and blessed. As these guys said, they got it right here. They told you right here. It's possible. There's hope. I want to thank you all for watching. Please, take a step of action. That's what we got to do. Take a step of action. And then I'll see you out there. And hopefully we'll do another show on this sometime in the future. And we'll be able to get some feedback for you guys to saying, hey, you're right, it was work. But let me tell you, we've seen this happen to many, many people. And that's why I'm glad you all watched tonight. For the person or people out there that are hurt, that think it's all over, it's not all over. Thanks for watching.